Hey everyone, I'm Tassenix. Welcome back to another mod guide video. We're pushing our way through the 501st Legion faction, and next up is CT-21-0408 Echo. This guy is categorized as a support, but he has very significant damage, okay? Surprisingly punchy. A lot of folks underestimate what this guy's kit does, and he's really very well tied at the hip to fives in this team. But before we get into his particulars, let's talk about the leadership he's going to operate under. For the purposes of this video, we will assume that you'll be running him under General Skywalker's leadership, so let's cover that first. It's called General of the 501st. All units can't be revived. All 501st allies have plus 50% critical damage. And when an enemy gains a buff, all 501st allies gain 2% offense, stacking until the end of the encounter. Alright, there's more to General Skywalker's lead that mostly affects that character himself, but in terms of modding, this is just about it. So we can see that we get offense, and there's some critical damage baked in, and however much survivability you bake into him, that's all he's going to get, because nobody's going to get revived here under Ghastly, okay? Alright, let's jump into his base unique, Domino Squad. Clone Trooper and 501st allies have plus 20% critical chance. When an enemy evades an attack from a Clone Trooper or 501st ally, Echo deals damage to them equal to 20% of their max health, which can't be evaded. If Fives is present, Echo deals plus 100% more damage when Fives is taunting, or has plus 100% defense when Fives is not taunting. So, pretty nice unique here. Clone Trooper and 501st allies have plus 20% critical chance. This is a double dip, right? So if you're both Clone Trooper and 501st, that's 40%. That's a lot, right? So, at least in the 5 versus 5 team, you can see not a lot of emphasis needs to be added in, okay, to this team to make sure that they're critically striking, right? And yeah, hopefully if you're fighting somebody that has evasion up or is otherwise dodging you, Echo punishes that specifically. His next unique, copy that. Whenever another Clone Trooper or 501st ally uses their basic ability during their turn, Echo assists. Whenever another Clone Trooper or 501st ally critically hits an enemy, Echo's next attack will be a critical hit. Nice, okay? So as long as your allies are critting around you, anything you do is going to be a crit. Which we'll see when we get to this one special of his. That's pretty nice to have. Okay, supporting fire, his basic. Deal physical damage to target enemy and grant 15% turn meter to another random ally with less than 50% turn meter. This attack deals 15% more damage if Echo has critical damage up. I forget who gives that to him, but it is possible. The idea here, though, is that this is going to be calling, he's going to be getting called to assist with this basic, which itself gives out 15% turn meter to, allies, an ally with less than 50% TM. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Yeah, what was the copy? Yeah. Whenever a 501st ally uses their basic, he's going to follow up with that basic on the assist. That's nice. Alright, and his one and only special, EMP Grenade, deals special damage to all enemies and dispel all buffs on them. Stun all droid enemies for 1 turn. So, it's a really powerful ability, an AoE buff dispel that does significant damage if you put offense into him. The only real downside, 4-round cooldown. And it, and people forget about this, but when folks try to use, like, General Grievous to take on a gas team, folks can forget about this. The stun all droid enemies for 1 turn. So that effect can be resisted, but it's often underestimated if you're going to try droids. Okay, let's talk about team comps and turn order. This guy is mostly assisting in, if he gets to do 2 EMP grenades in an entire fight, that's about all the most you could really expect. So he doesn't need a particular emphasis on speed. Furthermore, the more characters that go ahead of General Skywalker, particularly in 5 versus 5, the more turn meter you're feeding into a potential Wampa counter. And it's never a good feeling to put the kind of investment and effort into a team like this to have just Wampa run roughshod over you. So for that reason, Echo doesn't need to be fast, and it's advantageous to have him later in the turn order. So there he is, 4th in the turn order. And that's what we're showing here, your desired turn order, not leadership, right? So Rex over Arc, over General Skywalker, over Echo, over Fives. Now in 3 versus 3, the most common application for Echo to be applied would be alongside Arc Trooper with General Skywalker, allowing you to have an intact Rex and Fives team with some other Galactic Republic character in between. That could be, your Captain Rex, that could be your Zaris. I cover some more detail about the Team Comps and turn order in the General Skywalker video. I do have a link to that here in the description, so check that out. Okay, let's get back into his mods himself. So you can see intuitively we have a big incentive to go for high offense. Ideally, crit damage isn't wasted on this guy, right? So a crit damage triangle wouldn't be a terrible idea, except as a special damage dealer, Echo's going to have very, very low natural special critical chance. So if you're going to make the effort for it, you're pretty much going to need to have a 2-piece of crit chance, all right? So that said, all my clones on this team are minimum relic 8, so you can, adjust that down a little bit more for your health and for your offense if you're taking a look. But this guy's only about 248 speed, so under 250. It's just under 100 speed added. Not a ton required. The potency would be nice if I had a little bit more on him, just for the sake of maybe getting that stun if somebody should try droids, but it's really not a reliable counter and I'm not sweating it. The dispel and the damage is what's so key about the EMP grenade, so I would put your effort into leaning into offense, right? Now he's a special damage character, I want to say, on that bomb. So yeah, we have just over 56% critical chance. Usually for a special damage dealer, I'm trying to have him about 70. But remember, he's giving out 20%, and then I think another 20% because he's both clone and 501st. I think there's a double dip there, so he's like 96% critical chance, right? Not less than 76 in any event. And I think, yeah, so his basic is physical, but his special ability does special damage. So he is an odd character in that very seldom are you looking at both physical and special on the same. We see that he has physical over 9k and over 80% crit chance, so that's really nice. The only thing I don't have on him is a crit damage triangle. Now, again, you're thinking, wow, you've gone to the effort of making him have this high crit chance, but not a crit damage triangle? Mostly for me, it's about constraint when we're looking at it. This is the right speed I was looking for. We wanted to have that really high crit chance in any event. Okay, and so I decided to give him that. This could easily be an offense triangle, and I wouldn't fault you for it, okay? But I went with crit chance on him. Again, him being able to reliably critically strike is only extra important if you're doing gas versus ray, where you want everybody on your team to be able to strip off inspiration when possible. So, yeah, I mean, gosh, do I even have the slicing materials? This guy might even get a little upgrade from me. I might try to slice away a flat, try and strike this last little bit of speed and give him that extra push. But yeah, you could have an offense here. Crit chance if you're enterprising, thinking that you want to be able to take on rays. Of course, an offense cross. Health is okay. I tried to find the best percent offense secondary I could here on the circle. So this could be health or protection. Of course, the enemies fighting this team, they're able to take away protection while gas is standing. So you lose more survivability by going with protection in general, because they're able to actually take that down before they sit gas, and then when gas is done, you've already lost the majority of your survivability through protection, so your guys could be more easily popped. I do recommend health, but the real answer is seek the offense secondary as the first priority. Again, just some great offense here, some more offense. Some offense baked into this offense arrow, bro. Because he doesn't need to be particularly fast, you don't need to be worrying about some type of speed arrow business, right? Look for some serious offense primary. And I think that's part of why he's in this 2-piece of crit chance as well, is it just everything dovetailed well for me to be able to use this arrow, and then I needed something to go with it, so what the hell, why not, you know? In short, yeah, he's going to be assisting. He passively is going to be dealing max health damage to people. You're going to get that big kapow from him dropping the AoE Dispel a couple times in the fight, and so he has his purpose there. No particular emphasis on defense required. All right, a last note on applications. So I've been trying to cover these in these videos. Oops, wrong button. Let's minimize this and show you. So yeah, here in 5 versus 5, of course, him being on the gas team, you're stacking offense as your enemies are gaining buffs. You prevent anybody from reviving. And so, you know, you've got enemies here, enemy teams that are going to be stacking up buffs, maybe taunt, something to impede you. You've got Arc Trooper that can, with his turret, single target dispel, folks, but maybe you need a big AoE dispel. Don't nobody else but Echo bring that to this fight. So there's his real value, okay? I want to say in 3 versus 3, you're really not going to use the team too much differently in the sense that if you're using Echo, it's probably with Arc Trooper under gas, using gas on attack, all right? In which case, that matchup is much more defined by gas than it is by whatever you've got going in Echo. But yeah, AoE Dispel's never bad regardless, okay? I guess that about wraps it up on him. Just stack him up with high offense and let it rip, yeah? All right, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you want to stay in touch and get notified when future videos come out, please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Thanks again, of course, for all of the warm comments and encouragement on Discord, here in the YouTube comments, wherever. I enjoy interacting with you guys, so appreciate all of that. And until our next video, it's been real, it's been awesome, it's been real awesome. Take care.